Hey there, YouTubers. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, yes it is. Let's roll. YouTubers, I don't have a video director tonight, so. Good evening, everybody. It is Dave McKenzie with my broadcast partner, Scott Hudson. We're at Quoin High School, Van Meter Field, Scott Hudson. We were just standing here talking what a beautiful complex they have for sports with the new turf and the ball field across from us. Man, it's just a very cool environment.
Yeah, it is. You see a lot. You see a lot of schools now going to the turf fields. I think there's maybe just as many, if not more, turf fields than natural turf feeds in high school football. But yes, they've got the baseball field just to the south of the football field. Very nice complex here. And Quoin Indians off to a 3-0 start this season.
It's our McDonald's pregame show here with your Carterville Lions as they are playing in the first river-to-river conference game of the season on the road at Quoin. Quoin comes into this game 3-0. Carterville 1-2. This game Friday night and Monday night for the Lions, we talked about it a few minutes ago on the field. Carterville really let that one slip away.
Yeah, they did. You look at Murfreesboro had the 13-7 lead when the game was suspended in the third quarter. And Murfreesboro is down the second half. However, Carterville aided them in that touchdown by having a horse collar penalty, a late hit out of bounds, and then a face mask penalty inside the 10, which gave Murfreesboro the 21 point. And unfortunately, that was the end of the scoring.
3 big defensive stops in that second half against Murfreesboro. All told, Carterville should have.
At one point, Heron came back, had the Carterville's biggest test of the year, because I think Quoin is the most complete team that Carterville's played to this point.
We'll see as we are about 12 minutes or so away from kickoff. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale's Carterville Banking Center. About 2 minutes talking with Coach Dennis Drust after practice or a little bit earlier. And it was a brief conversation, but to the point. We'll have the Coach D interview coming up. It's your McDonald's. There you go. Coach Dennis Drust talking about this matchup. They do have a solid running game to go with that.
Well, they're just, this is a coach's dream to have this many athletes and the team that Coach Hill has. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got the quarterback with a strong arm. I will say this, though. If you're playing Quoin tonight, which Carterville come in as an underdog, you don't want to wake them up, so to speak. So Carterville, I think, what they have to do, they've got to keep the ball away from Quoin's offense. They've got to have those long, sustained drives we talk about that end in points and play with the lead.
Should be a good matchup. I'm excited about this. And historically, they're good games.
Well, throw out the records, because I think this could be a good game. Carterville's played their 3 games. They've had a chance to win the 2 games that they lost. They had a chance to win.
Exactly. The national anthem, it's going to be a beautiful night for football in Southern Illinois. When we return, we'll continue. And when we come back, the kickoff is on the way. Thank you for tuning in. It's the McDonald's pregame show for Lions football on News Radio WJPF. Welcome back to the McDonald's pregame show here on News Radio WJPF. Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson. Nice job by the Quoin band on the national anthem as we are just a couple of minutes away from the kickoff. What Jones is sitting on the sideline. He sprained his ankle. He is questionable for tonight. And this week during practice, Nick Kralis rolled an ankle. He is going to play. He's going to see some action, maybe limited to some point, but those are 2 key injury. Regular
5-6 days to prepare for this ball game. Carterville obviously had to play Monday night, maybe 2 games to prepare. We'll see how it works, but I think we'll find out how much that loss last Monday night affected the Carterville Lions. I think we're going to find out in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Got the coaching staff next to us. That'll be fun tonight. Keep your hand on the volume.
We got
color commentary brought to you by
plenty of color commentary tonight, courtesy of the Carterville coaching staff to my left.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good time. Don't forget you can watch the game in just a couple minutes. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating in downtown Carterville. For over 30 years, a York certified dealer, and they service all brands. You can call 985-2502. Or just go online, visit charliesairconditioningandheating.com. The Quoin Indians are going to be wearing their home.
And keep that Quoin offense off the field as much as possible.
Have some type of delay. I guess they're waiting for the final minute to wind.
Very good night here in Southern Illinois. Of course, a few weeks from now when we go to Sparta, and we're broadcasting from the outside, we'll probably be wishing that it was hot and humid.
Remember when I told you I had to miss a game? It's actually the Sparta game.
Oh, it's the Sparta game?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Last year it was the
Nashville game. Okay, well.
Teeing it up, 95. He finds a lane down the middle, kicks to the outside. So they're going to start it at actually the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for Carterville. Of course, they're led to the right. It's the give to Lazinski right up the middle. He bangs through, and he picks up about 2 yards for a short gain, 2nd down, Carterville.
Yeah, not much there in the middle. Tristan Bigham, 5'10", 200-pound junior. He is a load.
Have an official timeout. It's because the pants are down. They're going to make him come out. As that is Shamar Adams.
He doesn't have a knee pad.
He doesn't have knee pads, yes. He had them up above his knee. All right, now they wind it up. 2nd and 8. Petska's going to keep it off the right side across the 50, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down for Carterville.
Yeah, nice run. I think Petska, once he gets turned upfield, he's got
2 receivers spread out to the left for Carterville. One to the right. That is Dylan Moore on the near side. As it's the give to Lazinski. First down, Carterville. One man to beat, and he got tripped up inside the 40-yard line for the Lions. What a nice run by Colin Lazinski.
Yeah, Lazinski hit the hole quickly. Offensive line had a very...
Mason Hunsbecker out spread far left. Near side is Dylan Moore. In the middle is Nick Kralis, who's in the game. Petska, he takes the snap. As coming charging into the backfield was for DuQuoin, number 34, Wesley Milam. Man, he just blew that play straight up. Well, we just fell right there. No gain at all. We have another official timeout here on the near side. As Dylan Moore is going to have to leave the game. He's got blood on his right elbow. Every snap, he takes it, backs up a couple of steps, throws it across the middle, short, and it's going to bring up fourth down now for Carterville.
Yeah, and even if he completes a pass, it's going to be well short of the first down. Now, if they do complete it at about the 31, maybe Carterville goes for it on fourth down because it'll only be like 4th and 4, but just a poorly thrown ball.
Threw it in the dirt. So Colin Lazinski, number 35, and his orange shoes will do the punting for the Carterville Lions. He stands at about the 45, his own 45, as he waits on the snap. Team's ready to line up. 9:39 remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Carterville's first possession. The snap is skipped. Lazinski grabs it, and he's able to get the punt away, and it bounces inside. They got to stop it right there at the 3-yard line. Nice job on the punt coverage, and they have DuQuoin pinned deep here on their first possession.
Yeah, nice punt by Lazinski. A bad snap. He was able to corral it, get it off just in time, and DuQuoin's going to have about 97 yards to go for a touchdown.
This Lions broadcast brought to you by Mayor Brad Robinson and the entire city of Carterville, proud sponsors and supporters of Carterville Lions sports. The Carterville Fire Department Golf Scramble coming up this weekend at Crab Orchard Golf Club. So it's Josh Heap, who's the quarterback for the Indians. He operates from the shotgun, 2 receivers right, and puts one in motion. It's the give to Milam, and he falls forward for no gain, brought down right at the 3. Second down and 10, DuQuoin.
Yeah, Justin Cross in on the stop along with others.
Wesley Milam, the running back, he gets the big workload in the backfield. 2nd and 9, it was a gain of 1. The ball sets at the 4-yard line.
Pressure to his right. Dylan Moore had good coverage, but not before a big pickup by the Indians.
Quickly.
Your own territory? Nope, they're giving him first down.
They do give him the first down.
Generous spot, in my opinion, but
the ball is at the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Indians. 3 receivers to the left. He takes the snap, throws it out toward the right side. Oh, that ball could have been picked off by Dylan Moore. Instead, he wraps up the receiver for DuQuoin, and that is number 25, Jacob Green, with the reception.
Moore had his sights set on pick against a very good DuQuoin team, so you got to take advantage of these when you get them.
So Carterville has it. 1st and 10. This is a nice setup for the Lions. They have it at the 24-yard line. Petska takes the snap from the shotgun, rolls to his right, throws it to his right. It's caught by Dylan Moore. He falls forward to the 15-yard line, and that's a nice passing play from Carterville.
Yeah, Dylan Moore just cut across the middle from the far sideline. High percentage pass, and Moore's got good hands.
2nd down and 1 from the 15 for the Lions. Again, 2 receivers to the line, to the left, 1 to the right. That's Moore. It's the give to Lazinski. He falls right in the middle of the pile. He's brought down at about the 13-yard line. 2nd, and that should be enough for a first down. It is.
Yeah, just keep the ball on the ground. Keep the clock moving in this drive. When you started with a short field, end it with 6 points.
Got a couple of scores to update already. AJ leads Nashville 7-0, 7:30 first. Lions have it. Petska. Oh, we've got a whistle. It's probably going to be against the Lions. It's a motion penalty.
Illegal procedure. Those things that Carterville had not done in the first 2 weeks.
mistakes.
But last week they reared heads against Murfreesboro, and now
Critical penalties at critical times in a game, and helped Murfreesboro win that game on Monday night, 21-19. It is first and 15, as there was a penalty on Carterville. Ball is at the 19-yard line. They can get a first down before they get into the end zone. They give it to Lazinsno. Petska keeps it, and he's wrapped right up. Lost a yard, maybe. Second down and long for Carterville.
Yeah, I think if he would have given the
from the 18 for Carterville. Petska, it's the snap. This time he gives it to
Lazinsno. Can get maybe 4, 5, 6 yards here. At least it's going to make it manageable on fourth down.
3rd and 8 from the 12. 5:42 remaining here in the first quarter. Lions are ready to go. Dylan Moore spread way out to the right as the ball is on the left hash. They put Kralis in motion. They give it to Kralis off the right side. Can he get one block? He makes the turn at the 10. Bangs his way toward the 5-yard line, out at the 6. And it's going to be 2 for Carterville.
2, short 3. Play in the game, even though it's still in the first quarter.
Absolutely. As they look toward the sideline, Coach D signals in the play. Petska his troops. 4th and 2 from the 6, and we have a timeout that is taken by the 30. This Lions broadcast brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 702, proud sponsor and supporter of Carterville Lions Sports. IBEW Local 702, providing a better lifestyle for members and a better life for all. 13-0 now, AJ over Nashville.
Well, AJ's not out of the playoff picture just yet.
No, they're not. Lions, they're at the 6-yard line. It's a 4th and 2 play for Keaton Petska. Right off the right guard, falls forward for just a couple. 2nd and long now for the Indians.
Yeah, cross in on the tackle for Carterville's defense. Nice job by the Carterville defense so far in this game. I know this is only about the 4th or 5th play. It seems like Quoin's running the game, but Carterville's done a pretty good job.
Gain of 1 on that carry by Milam. He takes the snap from the shotgun, and it's a pitch to the left side to Milam. He is brought down out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. Gain of 4, 3rd down now for the Indians.
Yeah, good pursuit by Carterville. Going to bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 4.
That's what I call it. 3rd and 4. 3rd and 5 at the 11 is what they say. He throws it out left side. Miscommunication between him and his receiver. That is Jacob Green, who got a catch a little bit earlier. But it's 4th down again now for the Indians from the 11. Nice job by this Lions defense.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be a quick out, and the receiver went to the inside, and Coach Hill not very happy. But Carterville has got to take advantage of the good field position they've been given in this first quarter, and to this point, they haven't.
This time it looks like Quoin is going to punt. It's 4th and 5 from the 11. Alex Zimmerman does the punting. Back for the Lions is Carson Pearson. He lets the ball hit, goes back across the 50 to about the 46-yard line, and that is where the Lions will have it. Nice job by the Carterville Lions defensively, and they get another stop. This Lions broadcast brought to you by Southern Illinois Healthcare, dedicated to the communities we serve. You can call 8-6.
They've had a couple of opportunities to score, especially on their last possession. At some point, you got to put some points on the board. This isn't golf. Low score doesn't win.
1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line for the Indians. Thank you for listening here on NewsRadio WJPF, or if you're watching online as well. We appreciate it. Doing our best to keep the camera moving on this. Petska is going to work from the shotgun. Again, 2 receivers right, 1 spread to the left. That's Huntsberger out on the far side. But it's Petska that's going to keep it. He's out across the 50 and is brought down at the 49-yard line into Indian territory. That's a good gain.
Yeah, gain of about 4. You'll take that on just about every play.
2nd and 6 from the 49. Gain of 4. It's a little warm tonight.
Little humid.
Yeah.
No wind whatsoever. Looking at the flag to our right, it's not moving at all.
Typical September weather,
Yep.
I guess. 2nd and 6. Petska looks to throw again, dumps it out left side. That is to Lazinski. He just puts that shoulder down, runs right into the defender, and he's brought down. And that should be enough for a Carterville first down.
Now, first of all, it's a nice catch by Lazinski. The ball was thrown a little bit too far in front of him, but once he got it, he saw the defender come up to him. He didn't try to avoid him. He tried to run him over, and he got the first down.
Just drops that shoulder and just runs right into the defender. And doesn't matter, first down for the Lions. They've kept the ball. This whole first quarter's at the 43-yard line, a gain of about a half a yard for the Lions.
Yeah, he could just never find a seam to cut into. Great job by the Indians' pursuit. And they just eventually ran Lazinski right out of bounds.
2nd down and 10. No gain at all for on that carry by Lazinski. 43-yard line is where the ball rests. On the near hash, right below us, was nobody there. It's picked off by the Indians at the 22-yard line, and he is going to get away from a tackler. If he gets a block, he can be a lot of running, but finally nobody is putting him on the ground. About a 18-yard carry after that interception. Carterville just let him spin his way out.
I don't know who Petska was throwing to, but there wasn't a Carterville receiver within 15 yards. There were 2 Quoin defenders there, and I almost thought the one defender was
sure tucks it, and he's brought down. That's going to be about a 3-yard loss. He's pretty calm back in that pocket.
He does not get. It's almost like he's back there eating a sandwich. He's slow to get up, and there's a penalty flag on the play. It's going to be holding against Quoin.
Actually, that is Braden Higgins. It comes off to the near sideline just below us. He was a little bit slow. Higgins, a big boy, 6'6", 270, the junior. He's replaced. There's a flag on the play. It's a holding on Quoin, so that's going to move the ball back even further. .222 left on this first quarter clock. The Carterville Lion coaches in the background whenever we're not chatting. That's a big penalty, too.
That is from the spot of the foul. It was about 5 yards or more.
Well, he had to kind of roll deep to get away from that pressure, and that's where the hold was. So Heap has running backs on his left and right, and there's another whistle, and it's another procedure call on the Indians.
You know, Quoin came off a big emotional win over Heron last week. That's become a nice rivalry. And sometimes you don't play with the same emotion from week to week. And I know a good friend of ours, Kerry Martin, told me one time, he said, you may not be able to play with the same emotion every week, but you better play with enthusiasm every week. And right now, Quoin had no emotion whatsoever.
It's 1st and 34 now after the penalty from the 16. Off on the right side, there's a man that gets out across the 25, the 30. What?
Another penalty flag on the far sideline. 2nd and 34. A big gain, and you're going to throw a face mask on top of it.
Still won't be enough for a first down, but it's going to be against the Indians.
Oh, it is against the Indians. Okay.
They're going to mark it backward.
Wow.
15-yarder, too. Huge penalty on the Indians all the way back to the 10-yard line. Is it another holding penalty? I haven't seen the call.
I didn't see a call, but it had to be. Or block in the back.
2nd down, 1st and 4. Dasani Edwards, number 6, the 5'6" junior, off the tip of his hands, falls incomplete. 2nd down now and 40 from the 10. Pass was there. He has running backs left and right. He rolls to his right. Now it's a swing pass back to the left side. Wide open fields in front of him across the 20. The 20 able to get out of that. And this is not like this Lions team not to tackle well.
Yep.
Something that we haven't seen this season, but it's on display here early as we have 1:14 remaining in this first quarter. No score, back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th possession overall, the 3rd for Quoin. They have it 1st and 10 at the 50. Heap has one receiver, Milam on, one running back.
Now Carterville jumps off sides.
So they'll tack 5 yards onto that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the ball at the 45-yard line after the penalty. 1st and 5 from the 45. Heap throws it, swings it out to the right side. That's taken there by Dasani Edwards, and he has enough for a first down. Inside the 40 to the 37-yard line, they're going to move the change.
Yeah, they want to get their outside guys in the open field, one-on-one situations. Good open field tackle by the Lions, though.
They roll the clock. 1st down and 10 from the 37. Heap gives it to Milam. He bangs his way out to about the 35-yard line. Gain of about 2, 2nd down and 8. Second down and 8 from the 35. Heap looks to throw, looks across the middle. Man is there, but it's overthrown. Had beat the defender once again. That was Brian Winters, the intended receiver. He was wide open as he had gotten past the Carterville defense, but the pass was just a little bit too long.
Yeah, let him just a little bit too much, but this is a big 3rd down for Carterville here. 3rd and 8. Quoin, however, I think is probably in 4-down territory. But this is a big play here for Carterville.
3rd and 8 from the 37, from the 35 line once again. Heap operates from the shotgun, takes the snap. It's on the counter. It comes back to left side. That is Dasani out across the 20. 10, touchdown for the Quoin Indians. Dasani Edwards with the 35-yard touchdown run.
And never got touched. You go back to the big play, 1st and 40, and they get 40 and an inch near midfield. And Carterville gives up a big play, two big plays on this drive. And Quoin, which quite frankly has been outplayed in this first quarter, take the early lead, 6-0.
6-0 as they are on for the extra point. Kick is up,
no
hits
good.
off the upright, no good. So it's going to stay 6-0. The Indians lead the Carterville Lions. 0.8 seconds remaining on the clock. You're listening to Lions football on News Radio WJPF. 60, please, 60.
That's shocking. Last, but shocking.
Welcome back to Quoin, where the Indians just took the lead with 0.8 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Short kick hits at the 27-yard line. It's bobbled in the backfield, and here come the Indians, and they just bring down Carterville's Carson Pearson. Still 0.3 seconds on the clock, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Lions.
Well, Carterville had all the momentum in this first quarter except for the last 35, 40 seconds. And now Carterville find themselves in their worst field position of this first quarter. And only 3 seconds to go here in the first.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. They'll get one play off, and then we'll head to the second quarter. Benton leads Heron 7-6. How about that?
That's a little shocker.
It is a little shocker. Petska, 2 receivers right, gives it to Lazinski. Finds a little hole in the line, gets out to about the 25-yard line. Short gain for the Indians, but that ends the first quarter. 6-0, the Indians lead the Carterville Lions. We're heading to the second. You're listening to Lions football on News Radio WJPF. Backfield, 3rd and 2 now from the 29-yard line. Again, it is give right up the middle, and it's going to be a first down. Carterville will take that. They need something to change this momentum.
They've got to change the momentum. One score to update you on, Cesar-Valera-Waltonville leads Johnson City 14-0 in the first quarter.
32-yard line is where the ball sits. We appreciate you tuning in here on News Radio WJPF, or if you're watching on our YouTube channel. So it's 1st and 10, Lions, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Petska's going to keep it across the 35 out to about the 36-yard line. Gain of about 4, 2nd and 6 now.
Yeah, Petska just took the snap, and he took off like he'd been shot out of a cannon.
Cahokia and Marion, no score after 1.
I thought that might be like a Madden video game score tonight.
I did too.
And it still may be.
2nd down and 6. The ball is at the 36-yard line. It's the give to Cross again. Manny runs over the top, and the ball is bobbled. Justin Cross, he got popped, and the ball just comes out. Turnover on the Lions. That is their 2nd turnover of the game.
That one hurts because he was about maybe a yard or less from a first down. Carterville was moving the ball on the ground against this Indians defense. And now you give it right back to a very good DuQuoin offense. You got to cut down the mistakes against good teams or they will come back to bite you.
So it's going to be DuQuoin football. 10:26 remaining. 1st and 10 from the 45. Indians have it in Lion territory right from the 45-yard line. Heap, as always, works from the shotgun. 1 man on his right, puts a man in motion. It's the give to that jet back, and he's across the 35. That is Caden Mays with the carry. Man, he's so fast, but he was brought down by Carterville's Colin Lazinski.
Yeah, sophomore Eric Bybee came up to make the tackle, tried to make an arm tackle. That didn't work, and DuQuoin gets a first down.
As we said just moments ago, I haven't seen this kind of tackling from this Lions team all year long. They just cannot or are not bringing them down on that first contact. Heap from the shotgun. Gives it to his running back across the 30, out about the 25-yard line. Just a little bit short of a first down.
Well, the last 2 plays, the running backs have not had any resistance until they're about 10 yards downfield. Defensive line really needs to step up and allow those linebackers to come in and make some plays.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1 from the 25. Clock rolls. He takes the snap. He wants to throw this time. Feels some pressure, throws it across the middle. Picked off by the Lions. Who is that? That is Dylan Moore. He has it at the 25-yard line. A turnover forced by that Lions defense.
Moore just watched the quarterback keep's eyes. He was waiting for him, daring him to throw the ball where he was looking. Well, he did. Excuse me, and Moore stepped in front. And Dylan Moore, I think, is one of the better defensive backs in Southern Illinois.
Absolutely, and he just stepped right in and forced the turnover, and the Lions have it now with 9:35 on the clock. 1st and 10. That may change the momentum. Carterville needs to get it deep into Indians territory like they had it early in the game. Petska from the shotgun takes the snap, gives it to Lazinski. He's wrapped up. Gain of about 1, maybe 2 yards, 2nd and long.
Yeah, it's been a game of field position so far. Carterville has not taken advantage of theirs. And really, Quoin scored their touchdown with their worst field position.
2nd and 7 from the 27-yard line. They're going to say it was a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 now. Spread out to the left, right below us, Mason Hunsberger, the senior wide receiver. Petska waits on the snap, takes it, gives it to Lazinski. No
Just
place to run. About a yard is all he got on that, about a yard and a half. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Lions.
Not a lot between the tackles. Actually, not a lot between the guards on this drive. Last drive, there were some openings there. So now you've got 3rd and about 8. And this is going to be an interesting call here. Do you trust Petska to put the ball in the air, or you just try to break a long one off with the run?
Checking into the game will be the speedster, Nick Kralis. He had the fumble recovery a week ago against Murfreesboro. I keep saying a week ago. It was Monday night. 2 receivers left. Petska is looking to throw. Feels some pressure. Throws it deep down the left side. Wide open was Bailey Hicks, but it's picked off by the Indians. Out across the 40, the 30, to the 20-yard line. Makes a cut back and is spun down. Grabbed by the jersey at about the 12-yard line. Another turnover and great field possession for the Indians.
Well, the wide receiver was wide open and Petska overthrew him. Actually had 2 wide receivers that were open, and he was just overthrown. So we've seen underthrown passes and now an overthrown pass, and Quoin's knocking on the door once again.
That was about at the 50 is where it was intercepted. It's 8 minutes remaining here in this first half. Quoin has it now at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 13 for the Indians. They wait on the clock to set. Heat from the shotgun, from the wishbone, gives it to the tailback. That is Milam. He's wrapped up at about the 10-yard line. Short gain for the Indians.
Yep, defense, it seems like we've been saying this the entire first half, or at least.
Defense makes the play?
Well, defense back out on the field again.
Yep.
You got to make a stop.
2nd and 7 from the 10-yard line. He turns around, gives it to Milam, gets off the right tackle, spins, keeps fighting inside the 5, where he's finally brought down at about the 3-yard line. 3rd down and the goal from the 3.
Well, he made extra yardage by a little spin move around the 6-yard line.
Is that the B button on the controller when you do that? When you spin?
That's right.
I think that's the B button. I think that's what they did.
I have vertigo, so I can't spin.
You can't spin.
No.
You just
I fall down.
Yeah, you're the fullback then.
Yes.
7 and 26 is Milam Milam takes the handoff, and he is short. They've not signaled yet.
He's just short.
4th down. Did they get a first down?
Yeah, 2nd and goal.
They got it. Okay. 2nd down from the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. Who are they going to give it to? To Milam, and he's wrapped up. Wow. No, he bounces back in, and that's a
fumbled the ball.
Fumbled
the ball, and who comes up with it? Who comes up with it? Boy,
they're early indications. It's Carterville football. It is Carterville football.
Wow.
Woo! How about that?
Milam was hit in the backfield, spun out of that and got hit just inside the 1, and he coughed it up, and Carterville comes up with another turnover.
Let's see here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turnovers in this game. Am I counting that right?
Well, Carterville's thrown 2 interceptions and a fumble. DuQuoin's thrown 2 picks and now a fumble. Or no, they've thrown 1 pick and a fumble, so
I guess it's 5.
It might be 5.
6:45 remaining here in the first half. Carterville has it at their own 1-yard line. Let's see here. I bet they give this to Lazinski on the carry just to get a little bit of room. 1st and 10 from the 1. 99 yards to go. The ball is fumbled in the end zone. That's going to be a safety. The snap was off to the left to Petska, and he hit his hand and it hits the turf. He has to fall on it, and it's going to be a safety now. And it makes the score 8-0 here at DuQuoin.
Yeah, it wasn't a great snap, but it's one that Petska should have had. I think he was looking towards the line of scrimmage before the ball got to him. Anytime you take the snap at the end zone, you're a little wary of getting out of that end zone and not getting caught for a safety. But, boy, just when Carterville's defense comes up with a big stop, then another offensive blunder by the Lions gives the Indians 2 points.
The Indians fumbled at the 9:30 mark of the first. Then they scored a touchdown. That made it 6-0. Dylan Moore had an interception of a DuQuoin pass. That was at the 10:26 mark, and then DuQuoin fumbled again, but Carterville turns around and fumbles it in the end zone, gives DuQuoin the safety. It is 8-0, 6:42 remaining here in the first half. Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson coming up on our halftime show, brought to you by Farmers State Bank. We'll kind of wrap up what's happened here in the first half. It's not been pretty at all. We'll give you a recap on that.
Heron now up on Benton, 14-7.
And DuQuoin has players. So DuQuoin will have to kick away.
No,
Carterville will have to kick off. Yep. Lazinski is going to tee it up at the 20-yard line, so they will get the ball right back to the Indians. Lazinski does the kicking for Carterville. Got a good leg. Man, he had a couple of 50-yard kicks during warm-ups.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't punt this ball here, but get more hang time.
Lazinski gets his foot into it. What a good kick. Kicks it back to the 20-yard line, hits off of the deep back's feet, and he's out across the 35-yard line, the 40, the 50, where he makes a spin move, and he's brought down right there for the Indians. That is Caden Mays. Man, he is so fast. You cannot let him get out in open field like that.
No, that's the thing about a safety. You have to, kick off from your own, 20, 25-yard line. And even with Lazinski's big leg, he was not able to get it. I mean, he got it down to the 10, but almost outkicked his coverage.
Got a 40-yard return.
Yeah, I mean, they've got speed, and it's showing here in the second quarter.
They have the 40, the 35, the 30. 2 men there. Finally, the ball is on the ground, and it is going to be the Indians that get it back at the 20-yard line. That ball went about 6 yards forward, so it favors the Indians. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 20-yard line. But, man, it must be the 10 from the 20. Big gain. He is going to give it to Shamar Adams, and he spun down in the backfield at about the 26-yard line. That's Bailey Hicks on the stop. That's a loss of 2.
That's a nice open field tackle by Hicks for that loss. That's, Carterville's defense has done pretty well in this first half. It's just they're not getting a lot of support from the offense.
1st and 15 from the 25. Heap rolls to his right, looks for a man, waits, tucks it. Now he's going to run at the 25, up to about the 20, and he's run out of bounds into the back of one of the Indian cheerleaders. She's okay, he's okay, and the clock stops at the 5:36 mark.
Yeah, he got probably about 3-4 more yards than he probably should have, but still it's going to bring up 3rd and about 10. Again, DuQuoin in 4-down territory. So Carterville really needs to come up with a big stop here to keep them from having 4th and short.
3rd and 10 from the 20. Indians with the football, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Heap just takes 3 steps back, has to tuck it, feels some pressure.
Carterville defensive lineman there within probably less than a foot, and they could not bring him down, and he scampers out of that up the middle, cuts to the near sideline, and scores on a play where he should have been brought down at or near the line of scrimmage.
The 5:26 mark is 14-0. DuQuoin sets up for the extra point. They're going to go for 2. Trying to get make up for this mixed extra point they had earlier. So the ball is at the 3-yard line. Heap has running backs left and right. He rolls to his right, feels some pressure.
No,
he just dumps it out to the right side, touchdown, as it was Caden Mays on the 2-point conversion.
Now he just waited, rolled out to his right.
16-0, the Indians lead the Carterville Lions. 5:26 on the clock. You're listening to Lions football on News Radio WJPF. What was that, Brian? That was Heap with the touchdown run. Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson back at DuQuoin, 16-0, as the Indians convert the 2-point conversion after the touchdown run from Heap, the 20-yard touchdown run. That kick is an onside kick covered by Carterville at the 45-yard line. Smart move, but the Lions covered it. They're going to have it in good field position at their own 45.
Well, Carterville's got to do something offensively. They've got to get in. They need to get in the end zone before half. DuQuoin will get the second half kickoff, but I go back to the first quarter, Dave McKenzie. Carterville had the momentum. They had the field position, and they weren't able to punch a touchdown in and put DuQuoin behind. And eventually DuQuoin's offense got rolling, courtesy of their defense with a couple of picks and a fumble recovery.
Coming up in about 5 minutes, we're going to have our Farmers State Bank halftime show. Lots to talk about. Mostly turnovers, but a 16-0 lead for the Indians. Carterville with the ball from their own 45. Oh, in it, quarterback is Eli Downen. He was going to throw it across the middle, felt some pressure, and then he's brought down. A loss of 5. 2nd and 15 now for Carterville.
Now he faked the handoff up the middle. Big boy down and only a sophomore. Looked downfield, but he didn't have much time because he was sent to the turf by DuQuoin's Dalton Moore.
Well, the Carterville running game, not very effective. The passing game, they've thrown the ball a lot, hasn't been effective. Keaton Petska's not known as a passer. Eli Downen throws a good ball. The sophomore transfer from Heron, he's a big boy too, 6'4". The snap hits off his hands, and it's going to be a fumble on the Lions, and the Indians have it just outside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, if you snap the ball over Downen's head, you got problems because Downen's a big kid. Again, it's almost like, you hear the saying for wide receivers, if the ball touches your hands, you got to catch it. That ball did hit Downen's hands, but not a very good snap. And so now Carterville, I don't know how many turnovers that is now.
I'm going to have to during extended timeout, count up the turnovers. See,
It's
there's a lot.
Yeah, and really, in some ways, Carterville's fortunate only to be down 16-0.
I agree.
Because Quoin turned the ball right back several times.
We'll get the full count coming up here at halftime on the Farmers State Bank halftime show. This Lions broadcast, it is brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale's Carterville Banking Center. The Bank of Carbondale, proud to be locally owned and operated community bank. You can stop by and visit the friendly and professional staff at the Carterville Banking Center. They're located at 200 West Plaza Drive, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Let's see if we can update some other scores. Heron leads Benton. The last score I had, 14-7. That was a little bit ago. AJ on top of Nashville, 19-0, 7:28 of the second. Cahokia, who's Cahokia playing?
Marion.
Cahokia and Marion. They lead it 6-0. The 6:32 of the second. Here it is 16-0 DuQuoin with 4:35 remaining in this first half.
Carterville really needs to keep DuQuoin out of the end zone on this drive. Actually need to keep DuQuoin out of the end zone the rest of this half. If they go up 22-24 at half, with DuQuoin's offense struggling, that's going to be a big hole to try to climb out of.
Yes, it is. As the Indians was a late hit.
Yeah.
So tack 15 yards onto that, and it's going to put the ball right at the goal line.
And I think that was Lazinski that came in for the late hit. A little too aggressive, but the way this first half's gone from Carterville,
not surprising.
Not surprising.
4:28 remaining in the half. Milam's coming out. Gets a hand slap from Coach A.J. Hill and the other assistant coaches. DuQuoin has more assistant coaches than any other team in Southern Illinois. They got about,
with the exception of maybe Heron. Heron's got a lot.
They got a
of
lot.
assistant
You're right.
coaches.
It's first and goal from the 8-yard line. Into the game. Josh Heat comes over after chatting with A.J. Hill. Two receivers spread to the right. Braden Purcell outright on the near numbers. Josh Heap from the shotgun. They're taking their time. We got a timeout that is being taken by the Indians. We'll take a break as well. We'll pause 30 seconds. It is 16-0. Indians over the Lions on News Radio WJPF. Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson. Van Meter Field in DuQuoin, where we are. The Indians have a 16-0 lead after a touchdown in which they didn't get the extra point. Then the safety that put the Indians up 8-0. And then the 20-yard touchdown run by quarterback Josh Heap. And they get the 2-point conversion, and that's what puts the score at 16-0. The Indians have it now. Heap. He's going to keep it out across the 5-yard line, and he's able to just get away, run it right in from 8 yards out. The 8-yard touchdown run from Josh Heap, and it is now 22-0.
And it wasn't as if the offensive line for DuQuoin blew a hole in Cardinals' defensive line. Heap had to zigzag, move here, turn there. Somehow he got in the end zone, just not good tackling.
22-0. So, Scott Hudson, what's Carterville got to do in the second half?
Well,
what do they need to do now with 4 minutes left still in this half?
I think you're going to see Downen probably come back out. You may see him the rest of the game. I don't know. But Carterville right now, they just want to get to halftime. They want to go back in the locker room. They want to regroup, figure out what they've got to do in the second half. Carterville, if you take away the turnovers, which there have been many, if you take those away, Carterville's played a pretty good first half. They never took advantage of the field position they had in the first quarter. could never get on the board. And then, as is the case many times, when a good team finally gets their mojo, like Quoin did, their speed, their quickness has really paid off in this second quarter.
The kickoff hits at the 28-yard line. It's taken by Carson Pearson, where he's wrapped up at the 30-yard line. Carterville's going to have 70 yards to go to score a touchdown. They need some points on the board desperately with 4:13 left here in this first half. The ball sets at the 30-yard line. Don't forget our Farmers State Bank halftime show is coming up in about 4 minutes and 13 seconds. Well, Carterville has to run it out because I'm out of room on my stat sheet. I can't have another drive here. There's a lot of red and blue on there, too. Usually there's about 4 possessions a half. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's been so many turnovers.
There's been 9 possessions in this half, 7 in the first half, in the first quarter, rather. 9 in the second quarter. Eli Downen is the quarterback. Good snap. Throws it out. Crossing pattern was hit the hands of Dylan Moore, hit the defender, and then Moore had it right back in front of him as the defender was Anthony Cole in coverage. Lions are fortunate. It was incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10 from the 30.
Well, and the Carterville receivers have to adjust to Downen because Downen throws the ball a little harder, a little bit more of a spiral than Petska does. And it looked like Moore was not expecting that ball to be thrown ahead of him. And maybe the receivers, when they run their routes, are going to have to run them a little quicker, a little sharper to get the ball from Downen.
Downen is the throwing quarterback. Petska is the running quarterback. Lazinski across the 35, the 40. One man to beat, and he's tripped up at the 41-yard line. That is needed from the Lions.
Well, if Downen can be successful throwing the football, it will obviously open up the running game. So I think that's the one thing that Downen's in here to do is throw the ball. He doesn't have to throw 30, 40-yard bombs. He just got to throw 10, 15-yard passes, crossing routes towards the sideline just to get this Quoin defense back on their heels a little bit.
As the offense looks toward the sideline, head coach Dennis Drust standing at the 35-yard line, signals in the play. Downen for the Lions, number 15. He's 6'4". Here comes a blitz. It's Downen keeps it across the 40, the 35, down near the 50. Midfield, it's going to be the 49-yard line. That's a big gain for the big man.
Good read by Downen not to give the ball to Lazinski. If that would have happened, Lazinski been wrapped up immediately. Downen's a big boy, and when he gets ahead of steam, he's going to be hard to bring down.
That was a gain of 8, so it's going to be 2nd and 2. From the 49 for the Lions.
Having trouble getting the play in. Again, no play clocks here, so we don't know how much time's left.
3:01 remaining in the game clock. It's the give to Lazinski, and he just bulls his way across the 50 to about the 47-yard line of Quoin.
First down, keep the chains moving. If Carterville could punch one in here, it would be a big confidence boost to this team going into halftime.
Absolutely. They need something to help turn this thing around. It is 22-0. Heron leads Benton 21-7. Marion is winning their game over Cahokia 7-6. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Downen is the quarterback for the Lions from the shotgun. Swings it out left side as Lazinski has it go off his hands. Falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Carterville.
Yeah, not a bad throw. I think Lazinski, I could tell by his mannerisms, he was probably upset with himself just as much as anything else. Thought he should have had that ball.
I've been through 3 Gatorades tonight, Scott.
3?
3.
Well, you better be finding a bathroom at halftime.
Think what it's like down on that field, on that turf. 2nd and 10. Downen looks to throw, throws it deep down the right side. Man was open for a minute. The ball is incomplete. The intended receiver for the Lions, I believe that was Bryce Anderson, number 11. He was open for just a split second. Then the coverage made its way over. They knock it to the turf. and bringing up 3rd and 10 now.
Yeah,
but Downing's got an arm.
Downing's got an arm, and I think what that can do, even though the pass was incomplete, if you show you can throw the long ball, that's going to loosen things up. You know, from the line of scrimmage, to say 10, 15 yards downfield, especially in the middle, because they have to respect the long ball, and that should open things up in the middle.
3rd and 10 from the 48, 2:20 remaining in the half. Downing takes the snap, throws it across the middle. Again, that is Bryce Anderson, the intended receiver. It was too high for Bryce. Bryce only stands 5'8", and he needed to be about 6'1" for that one. So it's fourth down and 10 for Carterville. Of course, they're going to go for it. Down at the 9-yard line, Colin Lazinski does it all, and he pins DuQuoin deep after the punt here at DuQuoin. So the Indians are going to have it with 2:09 remaining here in the first half. Give me an opportunity to tally up.
Well, I think the biggest thing I've noticed in this first half is something we already knew. DuQuoin is a big play type team. And even though they struggled early, in the first quarter, they've made some big plays. I go back to the 1st and 40. 1st and 40. They get a first down in their midfield, and they go in and score. So it's hard to contain a team that's got this type of size and speed.
5 turnovers on the Lions in this first half.
They're not going to beat many teams.
And they're still not that far out of this game.
No.
That's the thing. So they're waiting on one man to get in to the play. And they have to call a timeout.
Yep.
A.J. Hill is not happy. Turns around, talks to one of his assistant coaches. We're going to take a break as well. We'll pause 60 seconds. You're listening to Lions football on NewsRadio WJPF. YouTube, my stream keeps stopping about every 6 to 7 minutes. I have to reboot it. I apologize. I think it's the heat in the press box. It's pretty warm in here. These things are pretty sensitive, so not had that kind of problem all season. Thanks for watching, though. Back at DuQuoin, Dave McKenzie with my partner Scott Hudson. Short run by the Indians. 2nd down and 10. No gain on that. From the 9-yard line. Is this a different quarterback for DuQuoin? No, it's still Heat.
Nice tackle by Carson Pearson.
3rd down now for the Indians.
Third and 5 or 6. Yeah,
or 3rd and 5. Yeah, you're right. My bad. 3rd and 5 from the 14. Officials wind the clock. We have 1:13 remaining here in the half. So it looks like DuQuoin's content to just run out the clock here. As we are right at the 60-second mark. We've got our Farmers State Bank halftime show coming up in just a minute. DuQuoin takes another timeout.
Yep, I'm done.
We'll take a break as well. It is 22-0. The Indians on top of Carterville on NewsRadio WJPF.
the field.
30. Van Meter Field is where we're at on a Friday night for high school football, the very first river-to-river conference game of the 2018 season. Quoin comfortably in ahead of the Lions, 22-0, as we're under a minute to go, 50 seconds to be exact. And it's been a turnover feast for both teams. Quoin has 5 turnovers. Carterville has 5 turnovers. The Indians have 3. But Quoin's taking advantage of those turnovers.
Yeah, and Carterville hasn't.
At all.
Yeah, you look at the two teams offensively, more firepower for Quoin, and the Indians have taken advantage of those turnovers.
First and, it is third down and 5, and that is Heap out across the 35, the 40. He's crossed midfield. Nobody's going to catch him. Look at him go. Touchdown for the Quoin Indians. That is going to be a 86-yard touchdown run for Milam.
Once he got past the line of scrimmage, he never got touched. Simple running play, good blocking up front. And once he got to about the 45, it wasn't if he was going to get caught. It was going to be how long is it going to be till he gets to the end zone.
Was that Dasani or was that Milam?
It was Milam, I believe.
So with 37 seconds left in the game, 86-yard touchdown run by Milam makes it 28-0. Indians are going to kick the extra point, and it's blocked.
Lazinski almost got there before the ball got down on the tee.
28-0. The Indians lead it. Got to say, what a disappointing half.
It is, and I think Coach Dress will find out a lot about his team in the second half. Are they going to come out here and fold tent, say, hey, you know what, we'll get them next week? Or are they going to come out here and they're going to fight? Because there might be some battles for positions right now. I think, there's got to be a question mark at quarterback going forward. I think Downen, if he can have a good second half, they may have a quarterback controversy at Carterville for next week. But I, as a coach, as a fan, all you want to see out of your team, you want to see them how they react to adversity. Well, this is about the biggest adversary you could have right now.
The one thing you could say about the Lions is the effort is always there.
Yep.
Not tonight. I'm disappointed in the effort. The tackling is atrocious, has been the entire game. The fumbles, fumbles are forced, interceptions are forced, but this is not a team that we're used to seeing, and the type of play we're seeing out of the Lions, there's been tackle after tackle after tackle missed tonight, where they had them pinned, they slip out as the kickoff is taken at the 20-yard line by the Lions and brought out to about the 36-yard line by Carson Pearson, but it's just I think that may be the chat in the locker room from Coach Drust and the staff.
You don't want to use it as an excuse. But again, as we talked in the pregame, this has been a short week for Carterville. They finished their game up Monday night.
It's true.
Not as many days to prepare for Quoin, not as many days to rest. But on the flip side of that is these are high school kids. It shouldn't take that long to get ready. To recover, to get ready to play a football game. And I see a little bit of a hangover from that loss last week. I think Carterville really let one slip away last week, and I think they're still feeling the effects of that.
I can tell you this. The practice yesterday was not good. Maybe it's just that Monday night finish is down and looks to throw across the middle. Ball hits the receiver's hands. That's Kralis, pops out, falls incomplete. 28 seconds left. But the practice yesterday, it was, I don't know how to describe it. They were out there working, going through their walkthroughs. 14-6, Marion leads Cahokia. 55 seconds left in the second.
And that was not a turnover. but that's a pass that has to be caught.
Absolutely.
I mean, Kralis, it's right there.
Right there, yeah.
You know, you got to make that catch.
28 seconds remaining. Downen remains the quarterback. Fakes to Lazinski, throws it deep down the left side. Hunsberger was the receiver, and he can't come up with it. As the 6'3" senior tight end, or split end rather, couldn't make the catch. It falls incomplete. 21 seconds left.
Well, he threw it high enough where he could go up and catch the ball, and he had it for a second and then lost it when he came down.
3rd and 10.
Big wide receivers like that, just let them go up and get the ball. Let them use their size, their advantage. He just couldn't come down with that one.
Where did he go?
The Lions out across the 40-yard line. I believe that's Lazinski with the carry. Hey, just a reminder, the Carterville Lions basketball golf scramble is coming up October 6th. Noon lunch, 1 o'clock tea time. $300 for a 4-man team, $75 a person. Or if a business would like to sponsor, it's a great event. Been out there the last couple of years. But that's coming up. We'll talk about that more at the half. We finally have reached the halfway mark of this game. It is 28-0. The Indians with the lead. Your Farmer State Bank halftime show is next on NewsRadio WJPF. Okay. It's the Farmer State Bank halftime show with Dave McKenzie and Scott Hudson. We are at the half, and it is all Quoin, 28-0. And when you go through and you look at what's happened in this game, Scott, it's just not pretty. There's no way to sugarcoat it, and the Lions have just not played well tonight. They've not played what is a typical Carterville Lions game. You know, they're 1-2 coming into this game. They beat Benton to start. They got beat 42-35 at Heron, and then the 21-19 loss. They weren't bad defeats. They were in the game. They had the opportunity to win both of those games that they lost. But you cannot say that about this team tonight.
Well, just like the last two games, Carterville had the opportunities tonight. It came early and often in the first quarter, and Carterville was not able to take advantage of a sluggish start by the Quoin team, especially offensively. Carterville had several opportunities to get ahead, maybe 7-0, maybe even 14-0, and maybe take this crowd even more out of the game. But then the turnovers started to pile up on Carterville. And even though they turned the ball over, Quoin obliged them and turned the ball back. But again, Carterville did not take advantage of Quoin's turnovers. And you knew at some point that Quoin's offense was going to start clicking. They're just too good. They're too big. They got speed to the outside. And Heap's a very good quarterback. And I think that's what we saw as that first half went along. And Carterville just seemed to, as that first half went along, Carterville just seemed to, there wasn't that urge, that urgency to say, hey, we're down by 2 scores now. We've got to change this up. It just seemed like a deflated squad.
In transfers, learn more if you visit tboc.com. Member FDIC equal housing lender. When you talk about the turnover race here tonight, if I've got this right, there's been a total of 9 turnovers in the game, 3 by the Indians, 5 by the Lions. Carterville got the ball first, and they had to punt. And then DuQuoin had run 5 plays, and there was a fumble recovered by the Lions. Then Carterville can't do anything. DuQuoin gets the ball back. They punt, and then it was an interception thrown by Keaton Petska to give the ball back to DuQuoin, and that's when they scored on a 35-yard run from Dasani Edwards. That was with 0.8 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and they lead at 6-0 after not scoring the extra point. So we head to the second. Carterville has the ball. They fumble it again. Then DuQuoin gets it. Dylan Moore intercepts a Josh Heap pass. Carterville gets the ball back, and Petska throws another interception at the 50-yard line. Then DuQuoin gets the ball back. They run 4 plays and fumble. And then Carterville has them pinned. They had it at the inside the 1, right on the goal line. Keaton Petska takes the snap and bobbles it and has to fall on it. DuQuoin gets the safety. They go up 8-0. Of course, then that's when the Indians really went to work. 20-yard touchdown run by Josh Heap made it 16-0. An 8-yard touchdown run by Josh Heap, the quarterback, at the 4:19 mark, made it 22-0. And then an 86-yard touchdown run by the halftime speech from Coach Dennis Drust and the staff is not so much X's and O's as it is a gut check for this Lions team.
Well, I think he wants to see, talking about Coach Drust, I think he wants to see what his team's made of in this second half. Are you going to come out? Are you going to play hard? Are you going to do the best that you can? Or are you just going to fold tent, and wait till next week? This is a Carterville team that, after the Heron game, I looked at the next 4 games with Murfreesboro, DuQuoin, AJ, and Nashville. I thought Carterville had to win 2 of those 4 to give themselves a decent opportunity to make the playoffs. Well, you lost to Murfreesboro, so now you've got to win 2 of the next 3.
Exactly.
So if you don't win this one, that means you've got to beat AJ at home and go to Nashville and win. So you're really putting yourself behind the 8 ball, and we're only in week 4.
I said that in my blog post today, that is this a must-win game for the Lions? No, it is not a must-win game. But it is an important game that you would like to get and to kind of give you that push into week 2 of the conference season, because you've got Anna Jonesboro next week. That's not going to be an easy game. Now the playoff push has started for the Lions, and here it is, week 4.
Well, I said last week for both Murfreesboro and Carterville, it wasn't a must-win game because there weren't any playoff implications on the line, but it was a have-to-win game for both those teams because of their remaining schedule for both teams.
Yeah.
And Carterville came up a little short last week, so now puts the pressure on them to win 2 of the next 3. Doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight, so then you have to win the next 2, which won't be easy. But, I think right now Coach Drust isn't worried about next week, the week after, or 3 weeks from now. He's worried about seeing what his team's going to bring to the table in this second half, and he better see some better effort, or I don't think it's not going to be a happy bus ride home.
Was it 2 years ago the Lions were 1-4?
Yes, it was, because that's my first year here.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
So you can make the playoffs.
You can.
It's not easy, but this Lions team, they've got to get things lined out here this evening as we're about midway through the halftime show, and we're going to go on and take our second break. We'll continue at your Farmers State Bank halftime show. It is 28-0 all DuQuoin here at the half over the Lions on News Radio WJPF. Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson back at Van Mater Field in DuQuoin at the half, 28-0. It's been all Indians. And what a nice crowd has come out for this River to River Conference game tonight between the Indians and the Lions. And turnover galore in this game. 3 by the Indians, 5 by the Lions. And Carterville's got to come out and find a way to turn this around. They've done this in the past here at DuQuoin. It may have been 2 years ago when we came over here and DuQuoin got up big and Carterville fought its way back. Wished I don't have my book from with that score in it, but if I remember correct, that was the Saturday that we came back right here, and it was like 28, maybe 35-7, and Carterville fought its way back in that game.
Yeah, Carterville, I think, a couple of years ago had a little bit more offensive weapons, offensive talent than they do this year. But if Carterville's to get back in this game, they've got to create turnovers early in the third quarter, and they've got to they've got to take the ball off those turnovers and score. I mean, they've got to get points in this. Realistically, if Carterville can score 2 touchdowns in this third quarter and hold DuQuoin scoreless, they have a shot. But you cannot let DuQuoin score any more, period, because I don't know that Carterville's offense is. Well, let's go back this game and last game against Murfreesboro. In, 6 quarters of football, Carterville's offense has only scored 2 touchdowns. Remember last week, one of those touchdowns was a defensive.
And Eli Downing.
I think you have to go down and now because you're going to have to throw the ball to get back. The running game, the running game takes so much time off the clock, and the time is not on your side. You're down by 4. Those offense open up a little bit here in the second half, not because they want to open it up, but I don't think they have any choice at this point.
I agree, and it will open up that running game. The running game is going to be there. Downing showed that he's not afraid to tuck the ball and run. He had about a 6-7 yard gain. You got one of the better running backs in Southern Illinois, and Colin Lazinski on your hip as well. Plus, you got Cross that's able to run. You might see a little bit of Matt Jones in there, although he's been hobbled by an ankle injury. But this Lions offense, they've got to find a way to put some points on the board. It's Lions team. I don't care whether it's defensive points or offensive points. They need a score, and they need to do it before the Indians score again.
Again, Carterville cannot allow DuQuoin to score any more points in this game, period, if they have any thoughts about winning. Defense has to come up big. You got to create some turnovers. You got to stop the big play from happening like we saw in that first half from DuQuoin. But I want to see something out of this offense. I want to see some life out of that offense. I want to see some plays made through the air, maybe running the ball. I think with Downing in there, what he's going to do, just because of his big arm, he's going to open things up. If you complete a few passes, and again, you don't have to throw the bomb. You don't have to throw the sideline pattern every play. But if you throw one over a crossing pattern over the middle, you throw a flare out to the side, you throw a screen pass. Now all of a sudden, if you complete those passes, guess what? DuQuoin doesn't know what's coming next.
Softens up the
because they don't have any tape on Downing. They don't know anything about Downing because he hasn't played this year.
Yep, you're exactly right. As we are still at the half, about 3 minutes remaining. Of course, the players will start making their way out. They'll go through their mandatory stretching that's required by the IHSA. And let's see if we've got a couple of other scores that we can throw in here. Heron is beating Benton 35-7 early in the third quarter. The last score we had, AJ up 19-0 at the half, and they have lost 3 fumbles in that game. West Frankfort over Harrisburg at the half, 35-0. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, I am too. I thought Harrisburg would give them. Harrisburg's played a pretty tough schedule the first 3 weeks of the season. They had to play Boonville, Indiana last week. They were up here at DuQuoin week 2. And I thought, okay, Harrisburg's probably going to right the ship. And that ship's sinking quickly in West Frankfort.
Marion leads Cahokia at the half, 14-6. And you and I, let's talk about this. SIU football at home tomorrow.
Yep.
Sports Voice on locations. We get to team up with Murph once again.
The Three Stooges?
I posted earlier today the band is back together. And
that's right.
It's been, what,
we're old enough to get the band back together.
I'm telling you. Yeah. But 3 o'clock will be the tailgate taking place on Saluki Row. Sports Voice on location. Come down there. It's always going to be 3 hours before kickoff, and then at 6 o'clock, the battle for the wheel as the Salukis take on SEMO. The first home game of the season at Saluki Stadium.
I hope there's a lot of people there. I think a lot of people are excited about this SIU football team. I know they lost 71-46 or whatever it was last week, but I was so impressed with SIU's play calling in the first half last week against Ole Miss.
I agree.
I was just, it had Mississippi guessing at what was coming next, and I hope that there isn't, that hangover, that letdown for SIU from last week's game. You're playing a SEMO team that was picked to finish at the bottom of the OVC. You're coming home for your first game. You feel good about what you did offensively at Mississippi. I hope there's not that letdown a little bit at the start of the game, but it being the home opener, I really don't think Coach Nick Hill is going to allow that to happen.
3 o'clock will be Sports Voice on location. You can tune in on 103.5 ESPN and listen to it live, but better yet, come join it. We have tickets. We got prizes, food and beverages. It's just going to be a good time down there.
And you may sing, right?
I'm working on a number.
Okay.
But I also have to do a dance routine with it.
Okay, well, don't bring the tutu this time.
I won't. I won't do that. When we come back, we're going to have second half action. The Quoin Indians lead the Carterville Lions 28-0. Been listening to the Farmer State Bank halftime show on News Radio WJPF. Welcome back to DuQuoin. Dave McKenzie, my broadcast partner, Scott Hudson, where we are just a couple of minutes away from beginning the second half. Carterville with 5 turnovers in that first half of action. DuQuoin with 3, but it was DuQuoin taking full advantage of those turnovers, and they lead it 28-0. And the players are out on the field right now going through their final stretches as we make our way toward the third quarter.
Again, I want to see effort. I want to see somebody, I want to see a decleater delivered by Carterville. I want to see something positive, something that the players can rally around. And the way you play, talking about Carterville, the way they play in this second half may determine who and how well they play going forward.
Exactly.
And I think that's all. Football, well, all sports are as much mental as they are physical. And I think this is going to be a mentally challenging second half for Carterville.
Then if you're the DuQuoin Indians, you also have to be careful not to have a mental letdown as well. You've got a 28-0 lead on one of your rivals. And, coming out, maybe you think, we got this one in the bag. And then Carterville gets that spark. They get that play. They get that big hit. They get the turnover. They score a touchdown. And then things can get going. And like I said, I believe it was 2 years ago when DuQuoin got out to a big lead on Carterville. And they wound up battling back and in that game. And so I believe that was Bailey Hicks, or not Bailey Hicks. Blake Hicks was the quarterback. In that, I wished I'd never carry 2 years and further with me, which is bad. But
that's all right. We remember the game, and
it was hot. I remember that.
Yes, very hot. I think DuQuoin could start this second half the way they started the game, kind of flat, kind of like, we're playing Carterville. They've lost 2 in a row. We're on the home turf. We're 3-0, and maybe just. I'm not going to say they took Carterville for granted, but they just didn't have that. They just didn't have that get up and go like you would normally see. Now they're up 28-0. They probably think, okay, we got the game won. Maybe we can relax a little bit. And if they do, then that's where Carterville's got to take advantage of.
Exactly. And Quoin gets the ball to start the second half. As they send their receivers back deep, there's two standing inside the 10-yard line. I believe Shamar Adams is one, and I believe Dasani Edward is the other. Lazinski ready to go. Puts his right foot into the kick, kicks it deep. It's going to be taken right at the 5-yard line by Dasani Edwards, I believe, out on that backside, and he's wrapped up by Huntsberger. Gets a hand on him, and they bring him down inside the 10. That's a nice start for the Lions' good kickoff coverage to pin Quoin deep in their territory.
Great kickoff coverage because it looked like he was going to – he caught the ball at about the 10, looked like he was going to go up the far hash mark, then cut back to his right, and he was brought down right at the 10-yard line. So good start by Carterville.
This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale's Carterville Banking Center. The Bank of Carbondale, they offer a wide variety of personal and business banking services. Learn more. Visit the website, tboc.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. 1st and 10 from the 10 for the Indians. Josh Heap, the quarterback. He operates from the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. But it's the give to Milam. He tries to kick it to the outside, and he is going to be wrapped up inside the 10. A small loss, about 1.5 yards, but good coverage there by the Lions so far to spread that out.
Not only spread the play out, but good pursuit by the Carterville defenders to not let him get turned upfield.
2nd down and 11 from the 9-yard line. They have the ball on the far hash. Heap from the shotgun. Milam to his left on his hip. It's the give to Milam once again, straight up the middle, across the 30, the 35, out to the 40, midfield. Carterville's not within 15 yards of him as he crosses the goal line on the other end. 11:04 remaining, and that is going to be a 91-yard touchdown run for Milam, Wesley Milam of the Indians.
Carterville had 2 great plays to start this 3rd quarter. Great coverage on the kickoff, and then a great play on a running down on 1st down by Quoin. But as we've seen too many times this year, especially in week 2 at Heron, Carterville has given up too many big plays that just take all the winds out of your sail.
Yep, gut punches.
Yep.
Gut punch.
And that was basically a run right up the middle.
Yep, just a trap.
And he just found a little seam and
stop it on an outside run by the Indians. So it's 34-0. Quoin on top of the Lions. You're listening to Lions football on News Radio WJPF. $60. $34-0. The Indians lead the Lions here. Van Meter Field. As the kickoff is bobbled in the backfield, it's picked up at the 10-yard line, out to about the 19-yard line. And the Lions, they just, you know, when things go from bad to worse.
We're witnessing that tonight.
That's, at some point, something good has got to happen.
It's like when you go to the Quoin Fair and they give you 3 chances for a quarter or 3 for $1, and then you just keep doling out the dollars because you just can't hit the glass off the back of the wall.
Hee-haw. That's what I keep going running.
Hee-haw.
If it weren't for bad luck, I
That's
have no
right.
luck at all. Despair.
Go for it, big boy.
And it's still early in the second half.
He's here all night, folks.
34-0. What's worse, Don Meredith singing "Turn Out the Light"? Lions have it. It is Eli Downing, the quarterback. Takes the snap, gives it to Colin Lazinski. He fights his way out to about the 25-yard line. That's a nice gain on first down. Makes it second down and about 4 for the Lions.
Got to have positive plays, positive yards.
Just keep trucking, boys. That's all you can do. Second and 3, a gain of 7 from the 26. Eli Downing. Where's number 15, 6'4", 210-pound sophomore, transferred over from Heron this summer. Downing's going to keep it right off right tackle, spins and's wrapped up. Short, little to no gain. Oh, actually, they're going to give him about 2 yards, so it's going to be second and about 1.5 yards.
Well, Downing is the quarterback of the future for the Lions. Only a sophomore. This is good experience for him. Whether he stays in this position the rest of the year or not, it's good for him to get this Friday night light experience, so to speak.
So, Nashville's finally on the board against AJ. 9:35 remaining. Downing takes the snap, gives it to Lazinski. Right off left tackle out to about the 34-yard line. Enough for the first down. That's going to move the chains. Carterville with a first down.
Nice offensive surge by the Carterville offensive line. They kind of caved in that defensive front for Quoin and got Lazinski the first down.
Ball sets at the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. As the offensive unit, they look toward Dennis Druss on the far sideline. Carterville just needs to hang some points on the board. However they get it, through the air, on the ground, it doesn't matter. They need points on the scoreboard. Lazinski, again, right up the middle. Gain of 1, 2, 3, gain of 4. They'll take that on first down run.
Yep, they'll take that. And, you know, if Carterville does have to throw the ball, maybe you're in third and short situation. You don't have to throw that 15, 20-yarder. You can throw a little 5-yard pass across the middle or to the sideline.
Running clock in Benton. Heron leads 49-7 late in the third. Heron has just put the hammer down in the second and third quarter. Here it's 34-0.
49-7, you said in Benton?
49-7.
Yep. And Heron probably won't let up.
Downing, the pitch to Lazinski. Out across the far hash. Is able to pick up about 3 yards out to the 40-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for Carterville.
An interesting call coming up here. Do you run the ball, or do you maybe roll down and out to his left or to his right? Of course, if he rolls to the right, it'll be the short side of the field. He won't have a whole lot of time to get rid of it. But let's see what Coach Drust has in mind.
This Lions broadcast brought to you by Mayor Brad Robinson, the entire city of Carterville, proud sponsors and supporters of Lions sports. Thank you for listening to us here on NewsRadio WJPF. We're watching on YouTube. The give to Lazinski. Keeps fighting, and he's got enough for a first down. That is the second first down on this drive. This will be the 7th play for the Lions.
Lazinski just lunged forward enough to get the first down, and Carterville's possession continues.
44-yard line is where the ball rests. You can hear Carterville coaching staff just as Downing drops the ball. He's able to fall on it. Yeah. Did he get it? Or
yeah, he got it back.
Nope, they're saying Quoin got it. I think he rolled right over the top of it. Downing went to throw, and he drops the ball. And I thought he landed on it, but I think he rolled over the top of it. That is another turnover on the Lions, the 6th in the game.
Just, I don't know. How do you describe it? Carterville had a good drive going, and then Downing looked to his right, looked like he's going to throw and just drop the ball.
Quoin has it, 7:21. remaining in the third quarter.
Somebody in the press box thought maybe the Hurricane had hit here.
Did they?
Won't mention any names.
Well, Heap has his Indians at the line of scrimmage, which is the 38-yard line. Put a man in motion. Gives it to that jet back. He comes off the right side. Out across the 30-yard line, the 25, down to the 20, where he's run out of bounds. And for the Indians, that's Brian Winters, the 5'11 sophomore, who's pretty quick as well.
Yeah, they're going to get some fresh backs in here now with a 34-0 lead. Probably won't see Heap much longer in this game as well.
So the Indians have the ball. They get it to Caden Mays off the left side. He's down to about the 15-yard line. And yes, Lieber might be able to go into the game. I don't know. We'll have to see. Nathan Lieber, as one of the comments that was made, one of the assistant coaches, will dress him up. 1st and 10, or 2nd and 6, rather, for the Indians. AJ's answered right back. AJ's up 25-7, 8:27 left in the third. 15-yard line, the ball here. It's the give to Milam. Off the left side, inside the 10 to the 5. Fights his way toward the goal line, and he's good for the touchdown.
He got through 3 tackles, Dave.
15-yard touchdown run. I didn't see that. I think that, was that Milam?
Yeah, it was Milam, I'm pretty sure.
Somebody's down in the backfield.
For Quoin.
Looks like an Indians, maybe one of the Indian linemen. 15-yard touchdown run, though, for the Indians.
A couple of score updates. Cesar-Valera-Waltonville leads Johnston City 26-6. And in baseball, the Dodgers lead the Cardinals 1-0, top of the 6th.
It is 40-0.
And we will have a running clock. What does that start the fourth quarter? I can't remember. 40-point lead as a running clock.
6:37 mark.
Looks like maybe just a cramp issue on the field. Cannot get the number of the Quoin player.
The Indians still have to go for the extra point.
That's one thing they've not been very good on tonight. They've hit an upright. They've had 2 blocked.
That was Shamar Adams with the carry.
Oh, okay. They're all a blur to me. Once they get in the open,
they all run. They run. They're all equally as quick, and
they don't come down on initial contact. That's the other key. That not only they have speed, but you very rarely see one of their running backs go down on the initial contact.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue. Here it's 40-0. Indians on top of the Lions on NewsRadio WJPF. Just roll it till I tell you to come back. Maybe a couple minutes. Run one more. The extra point kick was good, as it was Garrett Burke who was the injured Quoin Indian. He was able to walk off the field on his own power, under his own power. But the Indians, they kick the extra point, 41-0, and we still have 6:37 remaining here in the third quarter.
We'll just have to find out if Carterville can get on the scoreboard before this game's over. again, they had a good drive going. And
even the officials are in a hurry.
Yeah.
He's standing out there blowing the whistle saying, come on, let's go. 6:37 remaining in this third quarter. We still have to name our Joe's Lawn Care star of the game. And tonight, it'll be a Quoin Indian.
I
don't
would
know.
say that would be about a 99.9% certainty.
I would have to say probably Milam, Shamar Adams would be in there. The Indians kick off. It's a short kick taken at the 30-yard line by Justin Cross. He fights his way out across the 45-yard line. Good field position for the Lions as they have it at their own 45. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 702. Proud sponsors and supporters of Carterville Lions Sports, IBEW Local 702, providing a better lifestyle for members and a better life for all. 6:13 as it is a running clock now. 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 45-yard line. I also want to remind, kind of hit on this just before the half, that the golf scramble for Lions basketball is coming up on October 6th. Lunch starts at noon. 1 o'clock will be the first tee time as it's the give to Carterville's Nick Brown right up the middle. Gain of about 8.5, maybe 9 yards. Second and short for the Lions. But it's a $300 fee per team, 4-man team, $75 a person, or if a business would like to sponsor. It's a great time. It's at Crab Orchard Golf Club. If you need more information, talk to Coach Matt Crane at the girls' head girls basketball coach, or you can talk to Shane Hawkins, and we'd like to see you out there. It's just a great event.
What kind of golfers, Mr. Hawkins?
Hawk? I don't, you know what? He's so busy, I don't know that I've seen Hawk swing the club. It is the give to Nick Brown, who has enough for a Carterville first down. First and 10 from the 46. I bet you Hawk swings a pretty good club. Matt Crane, I bet, swings a pretty good club too. But it's a great time. The players, you get the boys and the girls teams together. The players will come out and join. The coaching staff is there, the assistant coaches.
I bet the way Coach Hawkins coaches basketball, I bet he's just as animated playing golf. And I'd almost pay to go watch that.
I always enjoy hanging out with Hawk. Look at Brown go across the 40-yard line, and it takes 5-6 to Quoin Indians to bring that one line down. Matt Brown is 5'10", 150-pound sophomore running back, and he's picking up a chunk of yards each time he touches the ball. And you hit on this a few minutes ago where this is going to give a chance for some of those underclassmen to get in and get some valuable experience.
Yep, I mean, you have to get these young kids in there to get them ready for next year and beyond.
As Downen looks to throw, throws it off the right side, hits off his receiver's hands, and I believe that was Brown that was the intended. Nope, that was Bailey Hicks. Hit him in the arm, and it bounces away.
Well, there were two Carterville receivers within shaking hand distance of each other. And that's normally not what you want, because if you've got those two that close, guess what? You've got at least two defenders that are that close.
Bailey Hicks and Nick Brown right there together. 3rd down and 5 now for the Lions from the 39 as the clock is all the way down under 3.5 left. Not very often. I cannot even remember the last time that Carterville had a running clock put on them.
It's been a while.
I truly cannot think of when that was. Down and rolls to his right, throws to his right, caught on the sideline. Nice catch over there by Bailey Hicks, enough to move the chains for another first down.
I think that's Dylan Moore.
Was it Moore?
It's Moore. Nice throw, thrown where it had to be thrown, where the defensive back had no chance to knock it down or intercept it. And Moore made a nice catch on a howitzer. I mean, Downen puts a little zip on his throws.
Ball is at the 32-yard line, 1st and 10. From the shotgun.
That
the
didn't
give to
work.
Brown is wrapped up and slammed to the turf. That's going to be about a 4-yard loss, three-yard loss. Second down and 13 now for Carterville.
Now, Quoin had a defensive lineman's only meeting in the backfield.
Yes, they did. And they only invited one Carterville Lion.
Come on over.
Second and 13 from the 34-yard line now. Two minutes left in the third quarter. Downing fakes the handoff, throws it deep down the middle. The receiver was there just a little bit too long. Bryce Anderson, the sophomore split end, just over the top of his head. He had beat the defenders.
Yeah.
He was wide open.
And that's something you work on in practice.
Yep.
That's something, Downing's not getting a lot of reps with the number one offense. That's been going to Petska. So that's something you work on in practice, and that can translate to Friday nights. But, he throws a very good ball. And quite honestly, I would rather see him, if it's not going to be completed, I want to see the ball overthrown a little bit as to underthrown a little bit.
Exactly.
That tells me you're a little bit afraid to let it go.
Yep, exactly. As Downing rolls to his right, looks to throw again, throws it over the top, and that was a little miscommunication as Nick Kralis was the intended receiver. I think he cut toward the sideline. Downing thought he was going to go more toward the cone on the far side, and falls incomplete. So it's fourth down and 13 for the Lions from the 34. Speaking of golf tournaments, tomorrow, the Carterville Fire Department Golf Scramble is at Crab Orchard Country Club. 4-man teams. I don't know if they still need teams, but I would contact the fire department. They can give you more information. The city of Carterville, proud sponsors and supporters as the ball is on the field. Downing falls on it. Carterville City, entire city, proud sponsors and supporters of Carterville Lions sports. The clock is under 20 seconds remaining here in the third. It's a running clock, and we are going to head to the fourth quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds. It is 41-0. The Indians on top of Carterville on News Radio WJPF. We get ready to start action here in the fourth quarter. Still the running clock once they fire things up. 41-0. It's been all Quoin scoring-wise. Turnover-wise, 6 turnovers for the Lions. 3 for the Indians. They flip sides. Quoin is going to have the ball.
A lot of new faces in there for Quoin.
49. Heron's score has gone final now. So the Indians have it. First and 10, and actually second and 10 from the 37. Clock just keeps rolling. In at quarterback now is Alex Zimmerman for the Indians, as Heap is going to get a rest the rest of the game to start the fourth quarter.
Carterville sending in some new faces as well.
Yep.
Get the young kids some experience.
A couple of the seniors still out there. Ian Bogard, on the line.
Nathan Dawson, a sophomore, in at linebacker now.
Jack Campbell is out there. Aiden Vaughn. 3rd down and 7 from the 39. Zimmerman hands it to his running back, who's wrapped up. Gain of 1, 2, maybe 3 yards for the Indians.
And if you look at this Quoin team, they do have a lot of seniors, but one thing I noticed, a lot of their linemen, and I mean a lot of their linemen, are sophomores or juniors. Most of them are juniors.
Yeah.
So this offensive line and defensive line, most of those guys are going to be back next year.
So the Indians are forced to punt. 4th and 4 from the 43. Carterville will get the ball back. Man standing deep at the 25. As there's a whistle. Got a motion penalty. Even the officiating crew slowed down here tonight.
Yep.
So that's going to back the Indians up. Fourth and 9. Lions broadcast brought to you by Southern Illinois Healthcare. As the snap hits the punter's hands, that's Zimmerman, and he's wrapped up at the 25-yard line. That's where Carterville's going to have the ball. Lions broadcast brought to you by Southern Illinois Healthcare. Dedicated to the communities we serve. Call 866-744-2466, or you can visit SIH.net. So Carterville has their first real opportunity to score here in the second half. 9 minutes remaining here with the running clock. They have it 1st and 10 at the Indians' 25-yard line.
And again, Carterville's now gone, what did I say, 7 quarters now. Last 7 quarters, they've only scored 2 offensive touchdowns.
Don't forget, Salukis are home tomorrow. SEMO comes into town. Scott and I, Mike Murphy, will have Sports Voice on location live from Saluki Row on 103.5 ESPN starting at 3 o'clock. Come join in. Tickets, prizes. It's nice to be back down there.
It is.
Looking
it was.
forward to it.
We've been gone for probably 7, 8 years from over there. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it's going to be nice to get back. And I know I've heard from a lot of people who are glad we're going to be back, so it's going to be a fun time.
Looking forward to that. 3 o'clock is when it's going to start. Game time is at 6. So all the Saluki tailgates will start 3 hours before the kickoff. And I'm sure Mike Reese will probably stop by and say hello. Coach Kill will be there. It'll be a good time. It's the battle for the wheel, the Steamboat Captain's Wheel. This is a new thing this year.
Yeah.
You have to wear your captain's hat tomorrow.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody told you that.
Oh, okay.
But
I was going to wear my baker's hat, but I'll bring mine.
It's not Baker's night.
Okay.
It's not the winter. Maybe somebody wants a donut, though. Now, see,
I'm not giving away donuts. Sorry.
That is a promotion.
There you go.
We need to do donut night.
They're kind of shaped like a wheel.
They are.
Hey, I'll find any way to get a donut.
I'm telling you, I know. We have those every Saturday morning. As the Lions have it inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line. Clock just keeps on rolling under or right at the 7-minute mark. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, a week ago, Saluki's hard-fought game down at Ole Miss. I don't think anybody really expected them to win, but, man, they sure put on a show the first half.
Yeah, offensively very good. And remember, tomorrow, first home game against SEMO, and then the Salukis are off the next week. It's their bye week in their schedule. Then they come back home, I think, for the 29th, so we'll be back on the 29th as well.
But it's nice that Sports Voice is going to be back. And, again, you can listen to it on 103.5 ESPN starting at 3 o'clock. Scott, myself, Mike Murphy. It's like a family reunion over there tomorrow with our listeners, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of familiar faces that we saw 6, 7 years ago, however long it's been since we've been there. And I've heard a lot of positive things about us coming back there, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully SIU can get a big win tomorrow.
Absolutely. Carterville has the football inside Indian territory. It's at the 16-yard line. They face a 4th and 1. Downen is still the quarterback. In the backfield with Downen is Nick Dawson. And it is Dawson that takes the handoff and gets enough for a Lions first down. Don't forget, we've got to name our Joe's Lawn Care star of the game. We'll do that in our post-game show. We'll see if Coach D makes his way up here. Not a lot you can say.
No. The game was there
early.
For a possible upset.
In the first quarter.
In the first quarter.
It was.
Carterville didn't take advantage of it.
It was only 8-0 at the end of one.
I know.
Or, is that right? 6-0 at the end of one. Downen keeps it. Jumps, hops, skips his way down to about the 6-yard line.
He's a big boy, and he took a couple of defenders with him, and he made a couple miss.
6'4".
And he's only a sophomore. He may grow even more.
What's going to be nice, too, you bring up Shane Hawkins. He's going to lie down and on the floor for basketball season.
If Shane's here or listening or watching online, he's probably on his knees praying, "Dear Jesus, do not let him get hurt."
15 is the number he wears. Takes it off right tackle. Makes a move inside the 5 down to about the 2-yard line, maybe the 3.
And the officials haven't thrown a flag in like the last
30 minutes.
3 hours, it seems like. And now they're going to throw one when Carterville gets close to scoring. I think that pretty much is a microcosm of Carterville's night. You get close, you turn it over on downs, or now you get a penalty.
Also, let's talk about some Georgia football.
Yeah.
Luke Ford is doing an amazing job as a freshman in Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldog team.
Yeah, they're putting him in situations right now to where he can have some success. He's played very well in the first 2 games, and if he keeps working hard, he's got a bright future.
I asked, people would ask me, is he going to play? And I was like, absolutely, he's going to play. Do you think he'll start? And I've said week 5, I felt like he would get the start. Still on pace for that.
Well, they have some good tight ends, but here's the thing. If you have tight ends that can catch the football like Georgia does, you can have 2 tight end sets. There's a lot of different schemes you can use when you've got those type of tight ends.
It appears though, Scott, that Kirby Smart is really wanting Luke to work on his blocking technique. If he were to want to play on a Sunday, eventually, he's got to be able to block. And, everybody knows that Luke's got speed. He's got good hands. He's going to catch the ball. But he's done a really fantastic job out blocking for the running game. He's had some incredible blocks, got a big pancake block in that first game. And he's seeing action in every game. So, Georgia, they play tomorrow, and it's an ESPN game. It's one of the ESPN games, maybe ESPN News, if I remember right. But that Georgia football tomorrow, and Luke Ford making us all proud down at Georgia, playing for the Bulldogs. Here, we're under 2.5 left. It's 4th down and 11 for the Lions from the 15-yard line. Downen takes the snap, gives it to his running back, puts a pop on the defender as he runs right over the top of him. That is Nick Dawson with the carry. That's what I'd like to see. Going down, put a hit on him.
Make somebody know that they got popped as well. And that'll effectively in this game, as we're under 2 minutes, running clock, Carterville turns the ball over on downs, and it'll be an interesting week of practice at Carterville. Do we have a quarterback controversy now? Are there players that Dennis Struss saw play tonight that have maybe earned more playing time? And I think maybe the bigger question is, will Jones and Kralis both be healthier next week when AJ comes to town?
Well, we're going to be at home next Friday night. 6:45 will be our pregame show. We'll have it on YouTube as well. We invite you to come out as the Lions prepare to take on the Anna Jonesboro Wildcats, who at the last score I had, they were still beating Nashville. Let's take a look through our scores here. Heron beat Benton 49-7. Marion still leads Cahokia 14-12 after 3.
And the officials throwing flags still. Come on, fellas.
AJ 31-7. The last score ahead was as they just began play in the 4th. So AJ evens their record at 2-2 on the season when they come to Carterville next Friday night.
Yep, they've got some momentum. This will be Carterville's 3rd straight loss. We'll see what happens, but that's another big game for Carterville next Saturday night.
Carterville's going to have to try to get some momentum when they take on AJ next week. We are under 30 seconds to go here. 41-0. The Quoin Indians are going to run their record to 4-0 on the season. And it wasn't a pretty game, but it was an effective game for A.J. Hill and his Indians. As the first conference game of the season for the Lions goes to the DuQuoin Indians. 41-0 the final. Our post-game show's coming up next on News Radio WJPF. Okay. Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson back at Van Meter Field in DuQuoin, 41-0. It was all Indians all night long, and turnovers, Scott Hudson, the name of the game.
Yeah, we haven't seen that from this Carterville team this year, talking about turnovers, and it bit them tonight. And, you know, when you turn the ball over against anybody, but especially a good team, it's probably going to come back and haunt you, and it did tonight. Carterville played a pretty good first quarter, but they just couldn't capitalize. And Carterville does not have a quick strike offense. They don't have a lot of speed burners on the outside. So anytime you get a short field, you've got to take advantage of it. Carterville didn't. DuQuoin came out and played sluggish in that first quarter. They just looked like, you know, they had just played 3 days ago.
And let's be perfectly clear. Actually, DuQuoin didn't play well in the first half as well. They had 3 turnovers on their own. It was only 6-0 at the end of one, but they got a couple of big runs there in that second quarter. But like you said, Scott, game was there early for the Lions. They had DuQuoin pinned deep in the entire first quarter virtually, and but they just could not take advantage of it here. 41-0. Carterville sees their record go to 1-3 on the season, and DuQuoin runs their record to 4-0 on the season. We need to make our nominees for our Joe's Lawn Care Star of the Game. Who would you choose?
Well, I tell you, the guy that kind of busted things open for DuQuoin all night long is Wesley Milam. the running back. He had some big runs, kind of those daggers, if you will, that just took any steam out of Carterville's sails with his big runs. He runs hard. He's elusive. You never bring him down on the initial contact, so I would have to say Milam. That's who I would vote for.
I think that might be a pretty safe bet. We're going to go on and take a break. And when we come back, we'll name our Joe's Lawn Care star of the game. We'll see if Coach D is going to come up here. It is the post-game show, 41-0. The Indians over the Lions tonight here on NewsRadio WJPF. Dave McKenzie and Scott Hudson back at Quoin Van Meter Field. 41-0 the final, where our Joe's Lawn Care star of the game is the running back for the Quoin Indians, Wesley Milam, who had some impressive runs tonight, kind of set the tone for the Indians in that second quarter and got their offense going. So Wesley Milam is the star of the game as Coach Dennis Drust is making his way toward our broadcast location here in the press box. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, call Joe. Owned and operated by Joe and Lindsay McCann of Carterville. Been in business for over 20 years. They specialize in commercial, residential lawn care, landscape maintenance, tree trimming, snow removal, a customer-oriented business, and you're not the typical rush-in, rush-out service that you'll find with other lawn care services. They'll also do bush hogging, tree trimming, equipment repair. They do it all. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, call Joe. Wesley Milam, our Joe's Lawn Care star of the game. Congratulations. For Joe's Lawn Care, call 618-534-8148. See Coach D's wanting to chat.
Yep, he's going to come up. He's going the long way like I did when I first got here, but that's okay. He's going to make his way up here. Quoin on the Mississippi side of the River, obviously the cream of the crop. They still have AJ to play. They still have Nashville to play, obviously, but it's going to be tough for either one of those teams, I think, to beat Quoin. I think if Quoin stays healthy, they could probably maybe go 9-0 in the regular season and have one of the top seeds going into the playoffs. I think what's really, really weird is that next week at this time, we will have already played over half of the high school regular season.
You know, when I was actually this week, I was going through my calendar, and basketball season starts second week in November.
Yep.
That's crazy. Let's go on and take a break. When we come back, we'll have Coach D on our postgame show here on News Radio WJPF. It's a long walk to the press box when you go the wrong way. that'll probably be what we'll talk to Coach D about. Here he is as he pokes his head through the window here on a Friday night. Coach Dennis Drust, I don't know what you say to in a post game after that. Just brutal turnover wise.
I can't even fathom how many we had, but we also had them at crucial times in the end zone for a safety. But I told the kids we've been 1-3 in the past. Exactly. 2 times in the last 5 years we've been 1-3, and those teams have responded and came back. And we got to do the same thing. They got to find a way to get it done now.
What was extremely uncharacteristic about this team tonight, they did not tackle in that first quarter, second quarter.
Defense played pretty well early. They gave us some short fields. We didn't capitalize offensively. We give them the safety. They get a big run. That they took advantage of our mistakes and turned that into momentum for them in big plays. And good teams do that. They got some athletes on the field. I think they just wore us down. Their jet sweep side to side. We were running. Depth is an issue to our kids, and we can't get a lot of them off the field. And with the speed and the athleticism that they have trying to cover kids over the field, it definitely wore us down tonight.
Coach, second quarter, sometime in the second quarter, you brought down on the sophomore end to play. Going forward, is it something that you're going to play both quarterbacks, or is this job open for grabs and practice this week?
Keaton's been our guy and been pretty good for us, but sometimes a little competition, we get a little comfortable in what we're doing, and he didn't have a good night, and there was no reason leaving him in and letting that night get worse for him. So this week there'll be competition at quarterback, and who I feel can run and lead us the best against Anna will be the one we go with. Now we're not done with Keaton by any means, but sometimes you get a little comfortable and we'll see competition this week. Sometimes competition will make you a little hungry, and he'll fight back. He's a competitor, so I'm not really worried about him. We just need to get him to settle down and make those plays for us like he did the first couple of weeks.
Coach Anna Jonesboro gets the win tonight, 37-7. They come into Carterville next week. As you look ahead toward Game 2, it's not going to get any easier for this Lions team.
No, and we knew that. I talked with Coach Dietering this week, and he was impressed how good Nashville was, and then he goes in and beats them 35-7. It was a big night for them at his place with a whiteout game, but that's still a good win for AJ, and not a good night for us. So we've got to battle that, and we've got to get the kids. I told them they got to put it away. This night's over, and we got to progress, and we got to find a way to make things better by next Friday and homecoming night at Carterville.
Is it truly one of those games that you just tuck it away and just go back to your game?
At a point, you have to. With our depth, we couldn't get anybody hurt. If we leave guys in and, once we got to the 40 clock and even 35, it's like, okay, we got to get some guys out so we have them next week. Because if we get somebody injured late in this game and, then we're without them next week. And, it's more important next week right now than it was, when it was 40-0 here to have them on the field. So it's just, you got to play that card that you've got, and that's what we're dealt. So, depth is an issue, and give our kids credit. They battle, but they got wore down today.
Yeah.
Can't blame it on a short week. I don't know. It was a tough week. We were out of sync all week with the Monday night game, but we can't put the blame on that. DuQuoin's a very good ball club, very athletic, and very well coached, and got great tradition, and we knew that they'd be very good tonight.
Yeah, next week, not, I guess, technically a must-win situation because there's not playoff implications on the line, but I would say that you've now entered this category of have to win. And then, of course, after that, you go on the road to Nashville. These are two huge weeks coming up for your team.
Maybe more importantly, we have to respond.
Right.
We're not going to talk so much about having to win, but we have to respond. And, we got comfortable week 1 and 2 with offense. It was good week 1 and 2. And, at times in the Murphy game, and tonight we weren't very good. We just got to rectify those things and make adjustments and get some confidence back in some kids to doing what they're doing. And, it's mid-season. We're banged, and tired, and, it's a grind. But, they got to put this game out of their mind and come back and make some improvement this week.
Coach Dennis Drust joining us on our post-game show. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
We'll talk to you next Friday night. Coach D joining us, 41-0. The Indians get the win tonight over the Lions. And, Scott, let's wrap this thing up.
Well, I think it's time to start looking towards next week, home game against AJ. I think it's eight quarters now that last 8 quarters, Carterville's offense has only scored two touchdowns. One of those touchdowns, obviously, the third one, defensive touchdown against Murfreesboro. So as Coach Druss said, you got to go back to work. You got to work on some things this week. And you get a hungry A.J. team now. They got a big win they needed tonight over Nashville, who was undefeated going into tonight. So A.J. is going to be hungry. They've got their first win of the season. But Carterville has to stop the bleeding now, and it's got to start next Friday night at home.
41-0 the final here at Van Meter Field next Friday night. Anna Jonesboro rolls into Carterville to take on the Lions. AJ 2-2 on the season. Carterville 1-3. It is homecoming night for the Lions next Friday night. Can you believe we're saying that already? It's crazy.
It is. It's week 5, and it happens every year, though. I mean, it seems like football season doesn't get here. You got June, July. It's hot. You're ready for something different.
Boom.
And then next thing you know, wait a minute, it's almost
We're
October.
at the midwinter tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy, but we'll be there.
Don't forget, Sports Voice on location tomorrow prior to the Saluki game. 3 o'clock is when we'll be on the air on 103.5 ESPN. Scott, myself, Murph, teaming up once again for our Saluki pregame shows. The tailgate, come out and join us. Free tickets. I'll be giving away some prizes. We're just going to have a good time. It's going to be nice to be back on Saluki Row on 103.5 ESPN. 41-0 the final here Friday night. Carterville is at home against AJ. For our producer engineer back at the studio, Brian R. Powell. For my broadcast partner, Scott Hudson, I'm Dave McKenzie. We'll talk to you next Friday night. Have a great week, everybody. And thank you for listening to Lions Football here on News Radio WJPF. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.